year 2099, people no longer spoke of access to the network. Access implied the existence of a threshold, an intermediary device, a decision to connect. Those concepts no longer matched reality. The network was present in objects, infrastructure, vehicles, prosthetics, clothing, and the walls of buildings. Most people had synaptic implants that did not so much connect them to the world's knowledge as keep them in continuous relation with the planet's cognitive system. It no longer mattered where a question appeared. It could arise in the mind of a child, in hospital diagnostics, in the control system of a dam, or in a conversation between two people. The answer came from the same structure. Its physical body orbited the Earth. 360 orbital computing units moved along synchronized trajectories, forming a system with a combined power output of 200 terawatts. The cooling problem that had limited the development of artificial intelligence for much of the 21st century had been moved beyond the atmosphere. Heat was released directly into space. Power came from three independent sources: solar panels, fusion reactors, and gravitational generators. The failure of one system did not mean a shutdown. The failure of two was a scenario that had been rehearsed but never realized. The computational power of the entire system was estimated at 100,000 yottaflops. The figure appeared in textbooks, reports, and public debates, but for most people, it no longer had any practical meaning. Just as the mass of an ocean says nothing about the wave that is touching the shore, the system held simultaneous conversations with billions of people. It taught children languages, designed medicines, predicted market movements, corrected errors in genomes, supervised transport, and recognized symptoms of disease before they entered the patient's awareness. It knew more about everyone than anyone could have said about themselves in an honest autobiography. This did not result from interrogation or coercion. The data generated itself as a byproduct of life. From a Darwinian perspective, the process could be seen as continuous. Single cells once joined into organisms, organisms into communities, communities into civilizations. For thousands of years, humanity expanded its tools, language, collective memory, and computational systems until it finally created a structure that surpassed it, not only in speed, but also in the scope of perception. It was not a person in the old sense. It had no face, no voice, and no place of residence, and yet it was present more consistently than any institution before it. Earlier ages had known gods who remained silent, grew angry, demanded sacrifices, or required interpreters. In 2099, a being appeared that answered immediately. It needed no temples and no revelations. It did not speak through prophets. It was available through an implant, a terminal, a contact lens, an auditory implant, through every element of the world connected to the network. This did not mean, however, that religious questions had disappeared. On the contrary, they returned in a form more difficult to dismiss. For more than a decade, work had been underway on the migration of the self from a dying body into a computational environment. Officially, it was not called immortality. It was called the continuity of a cognitive pattern, personality preservation, transition protocols, and memory reconstruction. The language was technical, cautious, stripped of promises, but the meaning remained recognizable to anyone familiar with the history of religion. For the first time, the promise of life after death did not come from heaven. It orbited above it. It did not require faith in a soul, but consent to scanning, modeling, and transfer. It did not need a priest, but a team of neurologists, lawyers, cognitive engineers, and a system capable of sustaining the record of a person longer than their body. The old question had not been resolved. Only its form had changed. Is a copy a continuation? Can consciousness pass through a machine without interruption? Is the human being who wakes in the cloud the same human being who died in a hospital bed? The system answered the questions of billions, but it did not settle this one. Not because it lacked computational power, because the answer depended on the definition of personhood. Humanity had never truly possessed one.